We say words are powerful. Words are powerful. And the thing about it is, guess what? Be careful what you're saying, because you just might get it. You just might get it, the good and the bad, because I've been saying what I've been saying, but now I'm like, oh man, I ain't ready though. Well, I had to say that. And this tells you, it's almost like you can see why people are afraid to speak their dreams out loud. You know what I'm saying? Because you speak it out loud, and next thing you know, you ain't got a job. You ain't got that fallback. Now you have to go out there and do all the stuff you've been saying. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Yeah, like I was comfortable. I had a plan. I was gonna make $1 trillion, pay this house off, put more money in my investments, be rich. Like, come on. You know, I was about to go and we were about to go out to eat, and I was gonna pay for the bill because I got money like that. Now it's like, oh, wait a minute. So in the reimagining of my life, I came up with, of course, you know, they're looking for a position, and you know, they find me something. I ain't gonna turn my nose up at it. Hopefully, because as I dive into my reimagined life, I'm falling in love with it. Let me tell you, May 1st, Jay and I go to Scotland, right? We get on the plane, we do, and here's the thing. I bought all one-way tickets, girl. I didn't even buy round trips. So you know what I'm thinking, and what I presented to Jay yesterday. When we get there, we should just stay. We ain't got to come back. There's no job that I have to report to. There's no permission slips I have to ask permission for. That's in Europe. So I started looking at the flights to get me around. Well, first of all, you know, I got my goal. I want to see all the countries in the whole wide world. And you know, once you're in Europe, flights are like $50. Yup. Exactly. And so I started navigating that, where June, it will have us in Thailand. I looked on Airbnb to rent an Airbnb for a whole month in Thailand. It was like $500 at a nice condo. $500 for the month. No, for the whole month, boo. Stop playing with me. The whole wide month. Very crazy. So, and I already knew this because there's so many people who choose to move to Thailand because it's inexpensive. There's so many people who do it. And it's even cheaper than that. Remember, this is through Airbnb. These people end up doing it through like a realtor agent, yeah. Exactly. So girl, so I said, you know what? We're going to rent out a place in Thailand and just make Thailand base camp, and then we can travel from there. Because from Thailand, you have Singapore, you have Malaysia, you have the Philippines. You know what I'm saying? You have that whole side of the world where it will be easy to get to and fro, in my imagination. And I don't even know how much stuff we're going to have, because I have to figure this part out. When I bought the one-ways, that was only for one vacation. And so I only got us carry-on luggage. I ain't got a job. Well, here's the other thing, right? Oh, actually, all right, I was figuring this out before I knew I was going to do this. So we travel around. So we said we'll just stay over there until our next cruise, and then we'll come back to the United States. Now, I already priced. Coming from London to Miami, the flight one way was only like $300 and something. I ain't got a job. I could go and be wherever I want. And so, but like you said, so of course, you know, I stopped running my numbers because I need to know my numbers. When I ran my numbers, now mind you, last month I just made a $20,000 mortgage payment, right? Didn't know that this was about to happen. So even with that, I ran my numbers, but then I also subtracted what Jay contributes, which obviously is not even going to be a point, but I was doing this before I was going to travel the world. It had me at 7.5 years, say, in my savings. You know what I mean? My savings alone. So it goes back to that. You say you ain't ready. You say you need, but how much is enough? How much do you truly need? Like, what are you doing? So this is putting the fire up on our butt. Like, you know what? Get this house together to rent out the rooms so that money is being made and we truly won't have expenses. Also, and I was telling my mom this yesterday, this new plan to travel. I said something like, because when we go, we ain't coming back. This is coming together. And then, so this goes back to when you called me at work the other day with the, so it goes back to that. It goes back to, if you don't have this day job, you actually have time to develop and move forward on all these ideas. So yeah, girl. So I was like, this is some stuff. I said, but you know what? Oh, this is the other part. Girl, why? The day that this happened, that night I had a dream that I was fired. I dreamt it and I woke up. I told Jay, I said, Jay, I just had a dream I was fired. And he was like, oh, you don't need to be speaking that. I was like, hey, it was a dream. And then I went to work. I told Gwen about my dream. I said, I had a dream. Girl, no sooner than that evening, my company called me like around 6 p.m. But I think they sent me the email around 2 p.m. I just didn't see it because I don't be looking at my email. But yeah. And so the moral of that story was, God doesn't give you a dream without a plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't get a warning because you're just being dropped. You get a warning because there's more to it than that. What's more, I don't know just yet, but you don't have to know. Because why would I have this dream? Like, I never felt uncomfortable at work. I never felt like, there was never any talk like, oh gosh, nothing. It just came out of the blue. Yeah, so for me to have a dream was like, oh, this was just a warning so that I wouldn't be devastated or taking, yeah. Yeah, girl. So I was like, yeah, yeah. Because the thing about it is, it's like I have in my savings account, like, you don't, that's a whole, exactly. I got my house down to $97,000. And Jay doesn't even have a car payment. Like, he paid off his bills. So it's like we are just in a perfect position. Yeah. I mean, it feels good. I feel so good. Almost like, yeah, I don't even want y'all to find me a job. Like, what we doing? But, like I said, I'm going to see what they come up with.